All right, welcome to John Michael's Rockbox podcast. As I'm pushing all these buttons all over the place because it's all go buttons. And my guest today, Michelle Becca. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Now, Michelle and I have been friends for, I don't even know how long it's been now, Michelle.
I'm thinking like 4 years.
Has it been that long already?
2.5. Well, we've been through the pandemic, which has been like 2.5 years. So I'm thinking like 1.5 years. Yeah, I mean, close to 4, I would say.
Oh, my.
I know. I know. It's crazy.
It is. But and for those of you who are joining us and don't know Michelle, Michelle's bio is outstanding. It's something, and we're going to get into this whole list of things that you do and have done, and the reason that you and I have even met in the first place. But we're going to start from the top. Of course, now as I'm reading your bio, an international artist manager, fully qualified life purpose coach, and a yoga meditation teacher who recognizes and grows talent. So let's start there. Okay. And so explain to me and those listening, a purpose coach and yoga. I think everybody knows meditation.
Right. Well, the reason why I did a life purpose coaching course was the fact that all these years as a music manager, I guess I'm sort of more of a spiritual manager than I am a business manager. And so for me, I've always been really focused on the well-being of the person. And so, being on the road all these years and just, dealing with, the ups and downs of the music business and all of life in general, really.
Right.
I found myself kind of, being able to use my wisdom and the tools as a yoga meditation teacher and just someone who really cares about wellness anyway, as a manager. And I thought, look, I'm going to go and do a course just so I feel, like validated, or I guess whatever, really qualified, not that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And so what a life purpose coach called, what I did, John Michael, was I kind of redesigned it a little bit. So I took all of the tools that I have, and I kind of now call myself a coach for creatives.
Oh.
And that's just working out really well.
Right.
Yeah. So, helping people to figure out their purpose is part of that, because I believe that we all are born with a purpose.
Yeah, I agree.
All of us, no matter what it is. And I think often, more times than none, it just takes, that one person to kind of listen, see, and say, hey, you can. You actually can go and be this person. You actually can. And they're just kind of react and go, what? No, and I think it's just having that someone kind of believe in you, right? That just gives you that feeling of like, oh, maybe I can. Right.
Yeah.
And I think, people sort of say, well, how do you find your purpose? And I think you just need to stop and ask yourself the question of like, what is it that really excites me?
That's true. There's a lot of people that are searching for what is it that makes me truly happy. I mean, what is it out there? Because everybody has something. I mean, there's something. Be it a skill or whatever, but there is something. And then once you find whatever it is that really just makes you go like, man, I can't wait to get started today.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever it might be, in my case, I love music. I like playing in a band. I love doing radio, and I love this podcast. So it's all kind of associated, right?
Yeah.
But it is a life purpose, and it drives me. I look forward to getting out there, doing a gig, getting on the radio and talking about stuff, including the gigs, and doing this podcast and finding great guests like you to come on and do these kinds of things. I mean, And for you to go out there and help people find that kind of a thing, that's got to be kind of tough anyway, because you're helping them search for something they're not sure about, right?
Yeah, you know what? If you just kind of get somebody talking and then, follow the excitement, like pay it, like follow that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where the answers kind of are. What is it that you can't stop thinking about? What is it every day that you think about doing? Or what is it about when you see something on social media that you react to, or you respond to? And I believe that they're all just little signs of, like, where your purpose is, and no matter how that looks, but it just, people just need to be kind of encouraged and supported to say, look, you can.
Right.
And people have 100, we all do, we all have 101 reasons why we can't do this or be that. But I like to sort of share with people that I think that there's enough people in this whole world for all of us to do our thing.
Yeah.
And to find our audience, or whomever.
Yeah.
And so the life purpose coaching course was amazing to do for myself personally, and it's great to have that.
Yeah.
But kind of, I'm jumping around here, but like,
That's
like in
right.
the last few years, the music business has gone through many changes, as you and I both know, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Right. And
Yeah.
as a music manager, it's really changed as well.
Yes.
Like, how that looks has really changed. Not the love for music, like you said, you love being in a band and you love for music. Or I still really love helping musicians be heard, right, and so I had to kind of close my eyes and go for lots of walks and think about, well, how can I be of value, more value,
Yeah.
in the way that it is today? And I thought, you know what? Integrate all of the skills and be this coach for creatives. And so that's what I do quite a lot at the moment. The most is, an artist will reach out to me, and we'll meet for an hour, and I help them. I help them
Right.
take that first step or whatever it is, and help them figure it out. So that's something that I'm really finding. There's a lot of joy, but there's a lot of value for us both in this kind of system.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
and now that leads us to you and the other things that you've done prior to you becoming this life purpose coach, is that Michelle has been in the music business. Hey, gee, man, you were just a young girl now when you
My
got
whole life, really. I mean, I left school and started working for EMI Records. So,
right.
and I guess I've tried to leave maybe 3 times, but we know the answer to that. And we also need
Yeah.
to know the song. So yeah, but I was raised with music with my mother. So it's been something that has just always kind of been in my aura, for my whole
Yeah.
life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you started out doing that, and so what did you do when you first started, before we tell everybody that, how you progressed, with just kind of like doing a little bio, a little book of Michelle and EMI, working for EMI. You're working
Yeah.
for these guys now. What were like some of the stuff that you did starting off in this with your love of music? I mean, what did,
I had a really great boss who had a really eclectic, wide scope of music that he loved, right?
right.
So he didn't just love one genre, he kind of loved a really wide spectrum. And so I just listened and learned so much from him about different styles of music, which I found really invaluable. And in those early days, they would have the guys from the record companies come along and pitch us all the new music that
Yeah.
we wanted to buy and sell or whatever. And you know what, John Michael, as soon as I would get goosebumps, or I would start to get tears in my eyes, everyone would just kind of go, "That's it,
That's
we're
it.
going to focus on that song or that band." I guess I've always had this kind of, I didn't trust it then, you know, but I completely trust it now.
All right.
This whole sixth sense that I have about music.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and so, you know, starting out with EMI Records, and then I worked in a record store selling, you know, music to just the public, and that was amazing. And then I ended up working on the Eagles tour, doing like publicity, which I'm, you know, I wasn't a publicist, but I ended up being involved.
Right.
And that kind of just, I got the bug,
Sure.
you know, I just got the bug for the whole shebang, you know, the whole everything about the music business. And then I became a flight attendant.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, oh, I don't know. I was asked to apply, and I was like, I can't, you know, I can't give up rock and roll and become a, you know, a flight attendant. So I applied, and I got accepted, which is the last thing I thought would ever happen. I was like, why are they gonna, you know? But they did, and I turned it down. And then it was kind of, you know, whispered in my ear, you know, Michelle, this is an opportunity. You perhaps should reconsider. So I did, and I said yes. And that turned out to be an incredible experience of like 6 years flying around the world,
Right.
literally learning how to like my own company.
Oh.
Like,
Oh.
oh my
Okay.
God, like how did I know that was even setting me up for what was to come, being on the road?
Sure.
You know, and not just like your own company, but
Well,
be okay with your own company.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Because
like,
you got to like yourself.
you
And
got
a
to
lot
like.
of people have an issue, you know,
I
with
know,
liking themselves.
I know, and that's kind of where it starts. A lot,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the good and the chaos.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So you've learned to do what a lot of us we're striving for, and sometimes people don't realize that. You know, you don't really appreciate yourself or like yourself. You know, to love other people, you've got to love yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just really how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when you love yourself, because you know, and that means, you know, not constantly pushing yourself down. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not good
Mm-hmm.
enough to do that, or something. And that's just a small piece. But
Yeah.
yeah, love yourself. And you were fortunate to find yourself by accepting a job of a flight attendant,
Mm.
to like your, you know, to find Michelle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you learn to love yourself. Plus, you found out what it's like to fly everywhere around the world, because that would eventually be part of your job anyway. No?
I know, and just you know, the whole hotels, but you know, dealing with the unknown, dealing with change, you know, all of that. Of course, I was really safe because I was working for a great airline and a great company,
Sure.
but also, you know, what I learned was about saying yes to when an opportunity comes your way, you know, and
Oh,
just because, I mean, I left after like I think 6 years. I left Air New Zealand, but what I learned in that time, if I hadn't have said yes, was like invaluable. You know, and I would never have gone there and applied for the job if it wasn't kind of suggested to me. So I learned like my whole life, I feel like has been like this experience learning. You're learning from experience,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Rather than just reading about it. It's just like, and that's just helped me so much to trust myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. That's very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as we move on, and to see what Michelle has done, and looking at this, Michelle, because you've done so much, you have been out there and you've managed a lot of great bands now, right? And you've
Yeah.
actually did
Yeah.
some major record deal signings and stuff.
Yeah.
So how how is managing? I mean, is it And it's not just one artist. What did you have, a handful of artists, or did?
No, I've typically only really had like two on the go. Working with a lot of, but two really.
Right.
And God, it's my passion. It's never ever been for me ever work ever.
Right.
It's always been my life.
Right.
Like my whole, it's not what I do. It's kind of who I am, and I've never separated the two. It's just always been the way for me. And it was like when I first managed. Now that was, living in Los Angeles, that was the most exciting time, John Michael, because, I started out managing Eddie Van Halen's Guitar-Tex band.
Oh.
That's how I became a manager. I was like, Michelle from New Zealand,
Right.
then, and was at a Van Halen session, and got introduced to everyone, of course,
Yeah.
and then I ended up, managing Zen Boy, which was, Eddie's Guitar-Tex band. And so my first gigs were like at the Coconut Teaser on Sunset Strip, the Whiskey, the Roxy.
Right.
Eddie was coming to the shows and kind of, sitting on a stool next to me, and he was just so excited. He was just like, oh my God, look at them. And I was like, how is this even happening? Like I couldn't have ever written this out. It was,
Sure.
I just learned so much. And it was so exciting, because then it was really, I think, so much, which I haven't changed in this concept though. Like then it was just all about the live.
Yeah.
And I haven't changed. I'm still old school. I'm still like, you're a band, play. Don't try to, shortcut. Why would you want to? Don't you just want to play music for your fans? But back then it was really just about the live and about the shows, and there was always someone or something really exciting to kind of go to with your band or your idea. And in that time it was an incredible time.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And so for those who are kind of like not sure of exactly what it is a manager does for bands, can you kind of like, and I don't know if there's a condensed version or not of what it is that you did or do, and what does that mean to be a manager?
Yeah, it's really developed now, like from in the last few years, John Michael. What a manager does now is even a lot more, like a lot more, because now you're actually involved in a lot of the build. I've always been really strong for artist development.
Right.
Michelle, pay attention. Answer the question. What a manager does is a manager is able to see the big picture that quite often artists can't, right?
Yes.
And we're able to sort of like look at this big picture of where we want to go and how we want to get there, knowing that the music often might take us this way or the music might take us that way, and that's okay. Don't be rigid in the way that you end up going.
Yeah.
Just be grateful or be happy that you're gonna, you're heading in the right direction. We raise your visibility as an artist.
Right.
We build you. We grow the value of your music.
Sure.
Right. So we help add value. We build, we sort of get you on the radar at the right time, and once that sort of artist development stage is kind of rolling, then you're looking at the brand, who you are as an artist,
right.
What matters to you, what do you want to say? What's your message? Who are you? All those kinds of questions really that I find really help an artist to kind of unravel and reveal who they are inside, and then write the music from their type of story,
Yeah.
Raise your light, just as an artist, as a manager, raise the light of the artist so they're seen by more.
Right.
And just know when to pull the triggers, when to get the connections happening, all of that at the right time. Know that if this is taking off, know that we've got to do this and that.
Right.
So it's a lot of those things. It's about building trust.
Sure.
Between you and me, it's about building this trust that that I've always got your back.
Absolutely.
That I've always got your back. And then advising, assisting, helping, guiding with the deals.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
But I think the trust is really important, and making sure that takes a minute, of course, the trust and the respect, but yeah, I find it really important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see that. So that would lead me to say, or at least ask, while you're doing that, I would imagine that you had to have run into several artists whom say, well, you're the manager, but this is my band, or this is my whatever, and will kind of put their foot down and say, oh, how come you're telling us to do all this stuff? Well, yeah, I'm sure you run into those walls, right? Well, I guess it's ego, right? Is what it is, maybe.
Yeah. And I've been really blessed in the fact that most of the artists that I've managed have kind of come to me. So that kind of switches the relationship up a little bit, because when they're coming to you, they're often coming to you because of what they've seen or what you've done.
Yes.
So there's immediately some respect there, hopefully. Often what happens, John Michael, is that it's the way you deliver messages, isn't it? It's the way you communicate.
Yeah.
And I think that what I do straight off the bat is I have the artist write a wish list, because I think managing expectations is a big thing.
Yep.
So have the artist send me an email and don't hold back, like shoot for the stars, of course. And then I can have a look at it, and I can manage that and go, well, look, this is something that we can look at, blah, blah, blah. So we're already kind of starting off in that way.
Yeah.
And then I think where I have had run-ins is when deliverables and results have happened really quickly, and then the artist, just their ego just goes woof, it's just like yeah, and that's kind of hard to kind of rein in and go, well, hang on, you're not out of the starting block yet, you're just a taste of it, and that can be a little bit tricky. But I tend to people that I work with tend to understand or get the feeling that I'm really here to help you.
Right.
This is about you, and this is about me doing what I do. So, it's been not too bad,
Yeah, I would think not. Now, Michelle, you are where now? Is this Satellite 13?
Yeah, I'm part of Satellite 13. Yeah.
And so, people can find you there, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm still doing my coaching for creatives, one-on-one, as me.
Right.
And I'm now also, which I'm thrilled about, part of the Satellite 13 Entertainment Group, which is a global music company.
Yes.
And I was invited to join. We just had a meeting in Sydney, actually, Australia, 2 weeks ago. I was invited to join as a music consultant, doing my holistic well-being business coaching.
Right.
But, honestly, John Michael, in the last little while, I've just been, getting that feeling and hearing this music that I just can't kind of walk away from. And so I've joined the team as management now. So I'm on the international team of managers. I've kind of come out of the shadows, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm coming back. Yeah.
He's coming back.
Yeah. But they're a great team of people. Like we've got, you know, offices in LA and London and Perth and me in New Zealand. And then we, you know, if we're still in the business today, we've got to kind of, you know, that says something about us, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Crazy, or yes. I don't know, but you know, so
it is.
A great bunch of guys, and so that's just awesome. Yeah,
that is absolutely. Yeah. So, you, my dear, I see have negotiated some pretty good recording contracts for some artists.
Yeah.
You know, and so that by itself, that's got to be something. I mean, you know, just the negotiation of money and things. No.
Yeah.
How hard was that, especially your first time when you're negotiating something like that?
You know, it was initially, you know, quite challenging as a woman.
Sure.
Walking into a room with, you know, 4 or 5 men in suits in a big building that feels really powerful, and you're like, here I go, you know. And so that in itself was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
To and how I was going to you know, let go and just be cool within that situation. You know, it felt intimidating, you know, walking into a huge label in New York for the first time, and on your own, you know, you don't have a business partner, so it's just you walking in, and it did feel intimidating. But there's something that I've always had, and I still have it, and that's just the belief in the music. And that's just never let me down, John Michael. And I'm so strong and staunch with it. I'm like, you know, I just believe in the value of the music so much that it's never been a well, I'm looking for a record deal. I've never looked for my band. No. You know, let it come to you, because then you've got all the power. Well, you know, a lot of the power, because it's coming to you. So I don't ever go and ring record companies and go, oh, I've got this great band, and but you know, no. Let it come to you. Believe in the value of the music and your product and your band, and know the worth. And I think I got that right from back in the day with Zemboy, the first band, just believing in the value of their music.
Yeah. That's it, man. What a woman. So, Michelle, we're getting close. I want people to be able to find you. Where can people find you?
Okay, so Michelle Bakker on Facebook. Michelle Bakker Evolve is my music page. So you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram a lot, which is just Michelle A. Bakker. And then Satellite 13 Entertainment. So if you go to any of those pages, it's in the bio. It's very clear. Just hit on a link and you'll find me. You'll find me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, we're gonna get back together again really soon. And if it's good with you,
thank you. I would love
this is just a kickoff, because we have a lot of things we need to talk about. And we'll share another podcast. Okay. And we'll go maybe more in depth, and maybe we'll make 2 episodes out of 1 or something.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing, John Michael. Yay.
That is great. Now, we just got to schedule our time, because it's 10 a.m. for you now.
Yeah.
Right? Well,
10:30.
10:30 now.
A day in your future, remember?
Yes, she's in my future.
I'm in your future. I get my crystal ball out.
So that's right. She's already tomorrow.
I am.
And it's really a weird concept to think that, you know, is like, so for me here now.
Talking to you.
Yeah. So this has been fabulous. Michelle Bakker, and it's Bakker.
That's right. And
when
Michelle Bakker Evolve on Facebook, or just my personal page is great. And then Satellite 13, we've got Instagram and Facebook. So yeah.
And so there it is, Michelle Becca. Thank you, my dear. We're gonna do this soon. Okay, we are gonna keep in contact.
Love that. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And we'll chat soon. Michelle Becca from Auckland, New Zealand. Again, thanks for being on. And thank you for hanging out here at John Michael's Rockbox. We'll talk again real soon. Bye. Thanks, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.